I know why. Okay, go ahead. The floor is yours, my sister Vasanti.
Thank you. My humble pranams to Patricia, Namallaman, and all the masters who have joined here. Actually, as ma'am told, this is the last chapter of the book, The Untold Story of Sita. The title of the chapter is Soma's Departure. So, this story actually, all of us know that it is a narration of the servants of Sitama. First, the story was narrated by Meenakshi, a character called Meenakshi. Then, in the after the departure, I mean, after Meenakshi leaves her soul, then Soma takes over, and the book is all about the narration of soul. And thirdly, another character comes, and that is Anusuya. And she actually, this is the rebirth of reincarnation of rebirth of Meenakshi in that true sense. So this is depicted as a third character in this story. Let's move on to the story. Now, actually, after listening to the story told by Soma, Anusuya and her mother, they leave the place, they leave the hermitage, and they proceed towards their home. So, in the journey, they rest in a place under a tree shade. They rest in, and Anusuya, she's recollecting all the words or the story that has been told by Soma, and suddenly she recollects that while she was a very small child, she saw a person, I mean, Maharaja Ram himself in front of her, and Maharaja Ram had held his hand he's held her face in his hand because she was a very small child, and he has held her face, and he is having a closer view. He is looking into the eyes of this child, that is Anusuya, when she was a very small child. So she could not recollect all that has been told on that day, but only that deep eyes, those divine eyes, she was able to recollect all the time. And those eyes gave her comfort in all the times of her distress and during night, whenever she was very scared or all these negative feelings. She recovered that. She recollected those eyes, and she felt comforted for them. Then she's asking her mother, Mama, one day actually Maharaja had visited our home. I am able to recollect that, but he has said something. I'm not able to recollect that. Could you tell me what he has said? Then her mother actually she says that okay, I will first she says that I will not tell you all those things. Better you ask your father. Then Anusuya says that she again insists that why not? Why I should not know those things? Because it is about me that the Maharaja has told. So why not you tell me that? Then after, don't I have that right to know about myself? Then okay, her mother says, okay, now I'll tell you. Then she says that yes, you are correct. When Maharaja was in his older days, that is Maharaja Ram was in old days. He visits. Actually, earlier he used to visit everybody's house to know whatever is going on in the Ayodhya among the citizens. But as he grew old, he did not have much visits to many people. So actually, your father was looking after the administrative matters. So he had to discuss that. He had come, and that was the first time he had visited. So actually, Anusuya's mother was standing by the doorway because she could not intervene between the talks between Maharaja and her husband. So she was standing by the doorway because she wants to have a closer look at Maharaja. So she's doing that. At that time, Anusuya was a very small child, and she was clinging to her mother's lap. She was holding the sari, and she was hiding behind the sari of her mother, half of her face revealing to Raja. She was hiding and saying Maharaja. Then Maharaja he noticed, and in between the talk, and he's calling her mother and Anusuya to come in. And Anusuya's father introduces them that she's my wife and my child. Then that moment he looked close into the eyes of Anusuya, and he's as a blessing, and he's saying that this child he doesn't mention the name. He says that this is the servant of Sitama who was taking care of Sitama in Mithila, and she came as soon as Mata got married with me, and she came to Ayodhya. She has accompanied. Then in the previous birth, she was a servant of Mata. Actually, this lifetime, she is the daughter of a royal man working in the palace. So then he says that Maharaja Ram, he blesses this child by placing his hands on her head, and he says that in every birth, whatever birth she's going to have, somebody is going to awaken her and to recollect the past for all the past lives. Somebody is going to help. This was the blessing, and he says that to Anusuya's father is saying that you better join her in Gurukula because that is Mata's wish that all girl children should get a proper education. Then, actually, her father has not disclosed these things to Anusuya. They have just left that matter. They have not disclosed this thing to Anusuya. Then this Anusuya is saying, why you have not told me earlier this all these things, Mata? If you had told me to Ma, I mean to her mother, she's saying, why you have not told me? If you had told me, I could have asked some more questions to Soma and I could have clarified about my past life. Then Anusuya's mother, she says that actually your father didn't want to reveal all these things because he didn't want that you to know that you were a servant in the previous birth because it was he considered it as a lowly thing for her to know because servant is very menial as per his wish. So as per his thinking, it's a menial work. So he didn't want her to know that because she was by birth she was interested in doing all this household chores and helping household children like a common girl. So her father wanted her to recognize herself as a royal girl, a royal child. So that's why. So, but this made Anusuya to get angry with her father. She's very much annoyed with with her father that he has not revealed all this thing. How could he think like that? She's okay. Then her mother says, okay, don't discuss about this. Do whatever Soma has said and all these matters that I have told you. Don't discuss all this with your father. Then she also agrees. Then she goes and although she carries on her routine work, she is physically present there, but mentally she is absent. She is not discussing anything. But she has shown her consent toward the marriage. So her father feels revealed, okay, relieved by that, and he does not interfere much with her things. She says, okay, she has consented for the marriage. That itself is satisfying for her father. Then one day, Anasuya, she's accompanied by a servant and she goes to the Sarayu River just to watching it because that is her favorite spot. She's just sitting and watching the rivers. So that time, a handsome person, he comes and stands by nearby watching Anasuya. When she noticed, she felt very uneasiness because she has not been in company with any person like this and she is very shy to look at him and as soon as she notices him, he says that he introduces that I am Ajit, that young man whom she is going to get married, whom her father has selected for her. So she gets some more shy and she was very shy. And then he says that this is my favorite spot also. How come you have selected my favorite spot as yours and yours is enjoying here? Then she is very much hesitant to converse with a strange person. And then actually while he was talking something, he notices that furry animal like a rabbit, some furry animal, it has got some problem. It is in pain. It has got some problem with its leg and is not going. It's not able to run. So he just goes near that furry animal. He picks it up and he keeps that animal in his lap and he's saying that it has got wounded because some big bird might have attacked to carry it to might have attacked, so it has got badly wounded in his leg. So let me console. I mean, let me give some warmth to it. And he takes a dollar which is hanging in his neck, and he keeps the silver dollar on the leg of the animal, and he's saying that, "May Mata's love heal you." So by listening to those words, this Anusuya, she was very spellbound. She was stuck up and she's just astonished and says watching how he's doing that, and she's just looking what that silver pendant is, what is that. Then she could control her anxiety and she's asking What are those words here? What it about Mata, and what is the dollar that you are taking on? And he told that actually this dollar has been given to me by my grandmother. She was the I mean then her anxiety grows some more, and she is questioning, who is your grandmother? Let me know something about your grandmother. How come your grandmother got this, all these things she's inquiring? And he's saying that that is a very big story. If you want to listen, I'll tell you. Then she says, yes, very much, I would like to listen that. Then he says that actually this pendant has been given to my grandmother by, say, Maharani herself. Then she says, how come Mata knows your grandmother? She says, how do you address Maharani as Mata? Even my grandmother, she used to tell her as Mata. Then he says, okay, she says, okay, carry on with the story. I would like to, I'm very eager to listen to that. Then he says that okay, when Maharani, she married Maharaja and she came to Ayodhya, a great they were sorry, a call came. Then she says that when a great crowd assembled there to see Maharani and Raja, whom she has married, then everybody, when the crowd could see a new beautiful Maharani, but my grandmother, she saw a great Devi standing. She could see the real original Sitama, that she is not an ordinary Maharani or something like that. She is the goddess herself. So she could see the true self. And when they were sent to exile, for 14 years, Raja and Rani were sent to exile. My grandmother, she knew that some greater reason is behind this. It is not she's not an ordinary human, and it's not a ordinary happening as other citizens used to think. But she thinks that it is for a greater good, and is something else, greater thing is happening. And that is then when she went to exile also, my grandmother, daily without missing even a day, she used to go to the Sarayu River, and she was the first woman to go before the dawn. She used to go and pray in the river side. And later on, many ladies they joined. He said that, Ajit is narrating that my grandmother is a very common lady. She was a very poor woman, and she had very less knowledge. And my grandfather has passed away when my father was a very small child, so she has struggled all her lifetime to bring my she has struggled alone to bring in raising my father, the only son. And she has struggled all through her life. And though she was poor, she had that courage and daring, and she worked, and she brought my father herself alone. Then she says that then I remember her. His grandmother is saying, I remember her not by her words, but by her deeds. She spoke very less, but her deeds were very deep and very kind. So I remember all her deeds, and by those deeds only I remember her. Then actually, what happens is his grandmother, she was very ill. Then honestly, was asking, okay, now tell how this pendant was given to you or to your grandmother. Then he says that actually my grandmother, she fell very ill when Maharani had returned from that exile, and she could not. She was in her hut, in her place in her hut, and my father had gone to look for a medicine to recover her from her illness. At that time, when at that time Maharani was passing by in a chariot, and she found my father, and she stopped the chariot, and she said that medicine I will help you to find, and she takes him and she gives the medicine, and that we saw in the earlier chapters. So yeah, that was actually his father, Ajit's father. So then she says that after your mother gets cured, yeah, tell her to come and meet me in the palace. But actually, our Ajit's grandmother she got well after some time after taking those medicines. But even then, he could not come. She could not come and meet Sitama because the gatekeeper stopped her, and she could not. So what she does is she knows that lady had come, but the gatekeepers are not allowed her. So she goes and she dresses up as a common lady in a disguise. She goes with along with Soma to that place that to visit that old lady. We had seen that earlier itself in the early chapter. So she goes in disguise, and she that time she had given that pendant to Ajit's grandmother. So actually she could have given more wealth and this thing and that thing, but she knows very well that this is what is needed for this is with this only the lady, the old lady will be satisfied. So then actually that lady did not expect any recognition, acknowledgement, anything for whatever she has done. She used to go and pray. She has not directly helped Maharani or something like that, but she used to go to the riverside and do her prayers silently. So for that, she did not want any acknowledgement. But even then, Maharani recognized that and she goes and gives her. So then after that, actually, Ajit's mother has died very early while Ajit was also a small child. So his grandmother had taken care of him all these days. So then actually when after Maharani had visited their home and visited his grandmother, all the success came to his father. He became wealthy. He became a very rich person. He came to a good status in that kingdom. So before that, actually, they were poor. His grandmother was poor. So after he has become wealthy, Ajit's father has become wealthy. He wanted to shift to a new place, new bigger home, and he wanted his mother also to accompany them, but that lady, she refused. And she did not go with them. And then his father had a second marriage also, but Ajit also stayed with his grandmother, it seems. So then after that, um, yeah, Anusuya is recollecting the words of Soma. Soma has said that the man you are going to marry has also served in Maharaja Janak's palace. He was the caretaker of the animals there. So you wanted to marry that man in the previous birth itself, and now also you are going to marry that person. So she is able to correlate that, and she knows that, okay, yeah, this is the person my father has selected, and that is what Soma has been doing. So and actually Ajit is saying that I am caring, I love animals, I like to care them all the years, but my father wants me to go for administration job. Then she says, Anasia, I know whatever Soma has told her earlier. So she says that whatever is happening, you just have to take it openly, whatever is happening. Then um, he's saying, okay, now Anusi is asking, yeah, tell us some more things about Maharani Sita. Then he's saying that Maharani Sita has actually, after the birth of Prince Lava and Kusha, I mean, before the birth of Lava and Kusha, while she was pregnant, it was a common belief of common people that Maharaja has sent her to that forest. But actually, he says that my grandmother told me that Maharani Sita has not actually left Ayodhya. She used to, though she has been staying in the hermitage, she used to have frequent visits, and many people have got sight of her. They have seen Maharani Sita in the kingdom there, though she is living in the forest. And this masters, I want to tell you that as in the group, I already discussed that drops of joy, in thousands of drops of joy, or some, I don't remember that the book name properly, some 1,000 drops of joy, I think the name of the book is. So in that also, in that book also, it is said that Sitama actually, she went to forest on her own will. It is not by the purpose of, I mean, the Raja sending her. It was out of her own will, because she wanted to go to the forest and have a close connection between the animals, and she wanted the future generation, that is the princes, also to know that about the forest life, and to have a goodwill between the humans and the forest, to limitize the, I mean, what to say, the human beings are enforcing and they are exploiting the forest. So to know more about forest, to have a friendly kind of thing with the forest, this she has taken. So actually in that book also they have said that she is not going to the hermitage and staying there of, she is leaving Sri Ram. Actually she is, most of the time she is staying in the forest, but she is staying in the kingdom also. And that correlates with me in the story also, it is correlating. So that's why I am quoting about that book. So he says that Rajit says that his grandmother had told that frequently people are able to see her in the kingdom also. So then one day actually Raja was having a discussion, Raja Ram was having a discussion with the members of in the family, Swahi, in the gathering, with the meeting with the ministers, and about starting a gurukula for the ladies. And they actually everyone was opposing to that. And actually, beside Raja, there was a MDC that was meant for Rani. So actually, she was staying in that meeting. So yeah, while this discussion was going on, Raja kept quiet for some time. He was waiting for somebody. Everybody could feel that, but he didn't speak for speak much, and she stayed quiet. Then when anybody they wanted to start the discussion, he would just quiet them and say, keep quiet for some time. Then all of a sudden, Maharani, she's accompanied by all the rishis, and they get inside into the palace and into the place, meeting place, and she's accompanied by Vashishta, Sri Vashishta, Sage Atri, Sage Agastya, and all these holy sages. Then she comes in a royal dressed as a royal queen, and she comes and sits beside Sri Rama, and she says that okay, now this discussion is going about this starting school for girls, for girls. So first I will invite the stage to tell something about it. Then Rishi Vashishta, he says that his wife was educated for that only. She got the gift of Kamadenu as a gift. And then Sage Atri, he says how his wife was able to bring back Mandakini river to nourish the forest, the desert region. And then Sage Agastya, he also says that how his wife was educated. That's why she was able to combat with the Rakshasas. And then after all the sages have spoken, then Sri Rama, he says that yes, because Sita was educated, she was able to bear the torment of the Ravana and to face it courageously. And then chant the mantras, Vedas, all these things he's saying. And he says that though you people are opposing to that because you say that it is a tradition, in our tradition girls should not get educated, but that's not true. Actually, it is a tradition I accept, but there are some tradition which
I think we have lost her. Let us wait until the Master Vasanti come and join us, yeah? Master Vasanti, are you back?
yeah, ma'am. I don't know why there's some problem with my connection. Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah.
I would like to continue. So, yeah. And then he says that there are certain traditions which need to be followed, like recitation of the Vedas, sacred mantras, all these things. But some traditions are there which are no longer needed for our survival. As the society grows up, we need to we no longer need all those traditions. So we should those traditions are like the empty vessels. So we should discard them. They are of no use in the present time. So after that, Sitama also she also speaks that she has been taught by the women sages in the Mithila. Mithila also many women sages were there. Education of the women were very common in the Mithila, and that these women sages had aided her in Lanka also, and for the sake of a good community, for a prosperous community, for the future generation, the education of the mothers is very important. For if the mother is educated, then all the future generation will be educated. Then he says that all this thing has been narrated by Ajit to Anusuya. Then he says that uh, uh, though Sita Ma, while she was pregnant, she goes to her village. My grandmother believed that. Behind this also, there's a great reason behind it. And in every yagna, whatever yagna was being performed in Ayodhya, yagna, all the ritual sacrifices, all the great occasions, Sita Ma used to attend that It's not like she has been exiled, she has been sent off to the hermitage and her connection was cut off by Raja. It was not like that. All these days it has been told to us like that, but it, actually she used to come there and attend all the rituals. These days. That has been told to him by his grandmother. Then, um, then she is saying that. Yeah, Anusuya is saying that I'm very grateful that you have told all this about your grandmother to me, and I think I know your grandmother. Somehow it feels to me that somehow I knew your grandmother. Then her anger. Yeah, he says. I mean, she says that I met an editor of Mata in like. Her name is Soma, and I met her. And that Soma had told me about your grandmother, so that's why I was very curious to listen to your story. Then he says that, oh, is that so? Then I would also like to meet her. Then she thinks that okay, in the previous birth, her own father, I mean not this father, that the father of that birth, he was not allowing her to marry to that person who was taking care of animals. So in this lifetime, the same person, he has taken a rebirth as a young man, that is Ajit, and her own father in this lifetime, he is arranging for the marriage of this Anusuya and Ajit. So previous birth also, they were both connected. I mean, when Meenakshi was there and she wanted to marry that person who was taking care of the animals in the kingdom, but her father opposed for their marriage and she did not get married. That was the reason she was able to go along with Sitama to Ayodhya. So now in this birth time, that wish is getting fulfilled, and her own father of this lifetime is arranging for her marriage. She is able to correlate that. Okay. Now, then after coming to her home, her face is very much glowing. Um, then I mean, she is very much blushed by meeting the would-be, and she like all the men. She does a close in her face, and she's coming back to her home with full of joy. Then her father notices this sign, and he says that okay, now are you ready for the marriage? Shall we arrange the marriage? And she is very much shy, and she could not hide that her consent. So then he says that. You before marriage you need to know something about their family. Then she says that yeah, Ajit told me about his grandmother, all these things. He says that in particular about his grandmother you need to know. Yeah, she says that yes, he told me that his grandmother was the person who prayed for Mata and all this. He says not only that, there are some more deeper things to know about her. He says that actually Ajit had told Anusuya that her grandmother was very poor, but actually it was not so. Her grandmother's father, that is Anusuya, I mean, Ajit's great grandfather. He was a very well established person and he was a rich person. And she was, I mean, Ajit's grandmother, she was also a rich. He married to a rich person, though her husband passed away. After that, she gave all her wealth to poor and needy person, and she took off all her beautiful clothing ornaments and gave to everybody else, and she is dressed very simple dress because she followed the footprints of Maharani, because Maharani was sent to exile. So she says that I will also give up all my riches, and I will also be like a simple person like Maharani. I will follow the footprints of Maharani. And she moved from the large place, large mahal or a large building. She moves away to a small place, to a small abode, and lives a very, very simple and common life. So actually, she says, Anusuya interrupts and she says, but Ajit told me that she was very poor. Then he says that she did not reveal all these things to many people, but people of those days, they used to know. But the actual, to describe her, actual word would be humble woman rather than a poor woman. She has abolished, she has given away all these things and she has become a poor person. Okay, because of her own choice, yes, she has done that. And while Maharani was there in Lanka, she was very tormented. We know that She would not take meals there prepared by the Rakshasas and all. So at that time, this lady, I mean Ajit's grandmother, she was staying here in Ayodhya. She also gave food. She feeded many people, poor people in those days, and she used to have very little food for her survival alone. So Sitama, what she was doing in Lanka, the same thing she was following here in Ayodhya. She has that much of connectivity with Sitama. She was doing the same here. Then he says that, I mean, Anusuya's father is saying that in those 14 years, our kingdom Ayodhya, it was threatened many times, but by outsiders. But in those 14 years, though Maharaja Bharat and Maharaja's brothers, all those brothers, they were protecting us. But we knew that the prayers of those great women, that is Ajit's grandmother, and all those women who surrounded them, who joined her, they were doing their sadhana unnoticedly, and they were doing a very great service to the society. Then, and he's saying that, I mean, Anusuya's father is saying that when Maharaja visited this our home while you were a child, he sowed this intention. He told me that when she grows up, you get her marriage to the youngest son of Sudama. Yeah, Ajit's father name was Sudama. So to the youngest son of Sudama, you just think over, and when she grows up, and you can give her in marriage to. So you select the youngest son of Sudama as husband of your daughter. But he did not compel or he just insisted that to be done. And when she grows up, Anusuya grows up, his father is saying that to Sudama, he is just conversating and saying that when Maharaja came to my home, he insisted that. And Sudama was surprised. He says, oh, is that? Once he also told me about your daughter and to give my youngest son in marriage to your daughter. How come he has told to both of us? They were very happy for that. So actually, Anusuya is thinking, oh wow, so Sri Ram, he was able to fulfill Mata's wish also. In his last days, he was able to fulfill all those things. Then, whatever he has learned, Maharaja has learned. He has learned many things from Maharaja Janak. And Maharaja Janak was doing these things in a very small scale in Vaidehi, and Raja has implemented many things in Ayodhya in a large scale, because this was a very big kingdom. So then actually he says, Ajit is saying to Anusuya that why not we go and visit Soma. Then she says, okay, I'll also be happy to visit that. Then they both agree to visit, but she says that let me talk to my father. Then while she conversating with her father, she was about to say that, but the father is saying, okay, why not we go and meet Soma. She was very much astonished. Oh, I was about to ask to Papa, and he is saying that. Then she very much agrees, and she says that shall we take Ajit also with ourselves with us? Then he says, oh yeah, sure, why not? Then our father is fixing a date to go and meet Soma, but at that time it is delayed. Then second day he is fixing. Some other day he is fixing. That day also it got delayed to some other thing. And the third time she's saying that, Ma, why not we both go? Because I am becoming very restless to meet Soma. So we'll leave father here and we'll go. But actually, our father is also very much willing to come and meet Soma. So third time they fix, and third time as fixed, they all of them they go. Soma, Ajit, and Anusuya's mother and father, all the people they go. Then they go to the hermitage, and her father insists that he first go and meet the sages before meeting Soma. But these people, these three, Anusuya and Ajit and Anusuya's father, these three people, they are becoming very restless, and they straight away they proceed towards the hut of Soma. But before entering, they are just going to the place, and sage is passing opposite. He is coming in the opposite direction. He's saying that, are you going to see Soma? Then Anusuya's father says, yeah, of course. So he says that you will not go and you cannot meet her this time. She says, why not? Then he says that he is gone. She is gone to her home. She says to Mithila, in this condition, she was very old. How could she go to Mithila? He says not to the Mithila. She has gone to her true home. That is, she's no more here in this world. They are all very much. They get us shocked after listening to this. And this they are very they say what has happened, what happened. He says that while he was very far away from this place, and he received a call, voice call from Mata, not phone call. Actually, Mata, I mean Sitama, through his intuition, he's able to connect to Sitama, and Sitama is instructing, go and hurry to Soma, go, she's now last time, and go and meet her. Then he, as fast he could walk, just rushed it to see Soma. But opposite, he's in the before the could approach the hut. Opposite, two ladies are coming. They are dressed very lavishly, and in the forest, it was very uncommon to see people. I mean, ladies dressed in that dress and the costume. And he did not take much notice, but because he was rushing to the hut, and he did not notice much of those ladies, just runs. Then one of those ladies is saying, are you going to see Soma there? She'll not be here. I've already taken her. Then he goes to before her, and even then he was not that those words did not sink deep into him. He's just going rushing. Then he recollects what this lady has said just now. And he returns. Okay, before going there, then he returns. Okay, what is that happening? And when he could not find those ladies, so he goes and sees that place, and he could see only the lying dead body of, I mean, the aged body lying of there in Soma's hand. So when he comes back and he tries to see those, he's thinking that, okay, yeah, this might be Soma. One person might be Soma, and the other might be Sitama herself. She had come and taken Soma. So he says that while saying, his drops of tears are coming in his eyes, and he's saying that maybe they didn't want, because if they meet her, I will somehow cry, and I will stop them from going. I'll say that I also want to accompany them. He'll again and again he'll say that he'll try and try to persuade them in taking him also with them. So that's why they have said whatever they want to say. They said, and they passed it. So then, while he was telling this, Anusuya, she couldn't take all this. She couldn't digest these matters. She's just weeping and crying. And then she says that the sage is saying, the person is saying that, but they didn't want me, because I would have some because I would have cried and begged them to take me also. They have not met. Then he's saying that, okay, whatever it is, I would just their will, the will of Sri Rama and Mata was that I should remain in this world and spread their love, and that's what I am doing. Then he also passes by. Then Anusuya's mother, she was said that she recollected the words, the last words of the sage, and she's saying, yeah, this is something special. He's saying something. He's blessing us all. These words are just a blessing to us. We three have received a blessing from the sage. Just go on and bring that sage. She's saying to Ajit, go rush and bring that sage to me. Yeah, then Ajit goes and he sees it's everywhere, but he could not feel. Yeah, he could not see that sage. Then Anusuya is saying, what happened, Ma? Why you are so restless? What happened? What you are saying? Then she says that this form of blessing we have received from that person. He is not a common person. This is the person who had brought the food to Soma when we came to meet her earlier. So Mata says that she's not hungry, and she refused to take that. Soma refused to take that. That same person, he has come now. Did you recognize that? Recognize him? Then Soma, Anushka says, no, Ma, that person was a tall person. He moved away in the door of the hut, and he couldn't reach the hut. So he has to go before that. This person was very thin and very short. So that is not the same person. She says that, no, I could feel the same energy there and now. So this is actually, I suppose this is Hanuman. He is disguised, and he has come here. So then after that, she says that he has given Mata and Raja and Mata, they have given us a blessing and we have given a gift. This is a wedding gift for you. And this message we have to take, and that love we have to spread all over. So that let us grow that love in our hearts, and we should spread it everywhere. Then okay, now sorry, masters, I did not get much time to prepare. I just underlined the pages, so I'll have to take some time. Yeah, his yeah. Then afterwards, Ajit is saying to Anusuya, is saying that even Maharaja, he visited. She's going to the place, to the hut of Soma, and though her mother and Ajit is staying behind, she rushes and she wants to see the place at least. Though Soma is not there, she wants to be in the hut. She goes there and she sits there and she says that you have told me all these things, all the stories, but I couldn't meet you. Why all this happening? She's regretting that. Then Ajit comes and he joins and he says some more things to console her. Um, he says that once upon a time Maharaja visited our home also, and he said that he blessed me also, and I could remember only his divine eyes. And he's saying that he said to my father that once your son, this last son, he grows up, you let him into the administration purpose, because he has a great love for animals, and that he will be able to maintain a proper balance between the human encroachments and the forest. So he'll be able to take care of the animals in the forest. So that is the reason his father is insisting him to go and join the administration. And he has blessed me that all the animals will befriend you, and you should never be afraid of any of the animals. They are all your friends. The animals will befriend you, and you'll be the friend of the animals. And he also said that Maharani, when she was in the forest, she did not fear any of the animal, even though furious animals also she met, and all those animals, they were guiding them in the forest where they had to go, what all has to be met. They were showing the path, and they were very kind to these. So right from the childhood, Ajit's father used to take him to the forest frequently, so that he would befriend with the animals, and he'd have love for them. So that it's to
Okay, we have lost Master Vasanthi once again. Okay, you're muted, ma. We cannot hear you. Still muted.
oh. Yeah, are you able to hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
I don't know why my Wi-Fi connection is going out again and again. I just getting interrupted. Sorry for that. Then
another 5 minutes to wrap up.
oh well, sorry. I think I've taken the whole 1 hour in this one chapter. Sorry. Then actually, then after that, Anusuya and Ajit, they get married, and they stay happily. They have 3 daughters, and sorry, 4 daughters. They stay happily in Ayodhya, and they bring every daughter, whichever daughter is born to them, they bring their newborn daughter to the sacred river, Sarayu River, and they take the blessing of Sarayu River. They say that Sarayu River, Mata, you see my daughter, this Sita's daughter. You bless our child that she has to serve her Mata as I serve, she has to serve the world. And then they have remained through the periods of Maharaja love and push to through their rule, through their guidance. They have lived all these years, and time and now Ajit had been traveling to forest and inspecting the forest, how the goodwill is between humans and forest life. And then later, all her daughters get married to, she is able to perform all her duties, and the daughters get married, and Ajit also, he also passes away. She is all alone. Anusia is all alone. And no, before her husband passes away, she says that, yeah, one thing I wanted to tell you all this is, but you actually, Ajit had told her earlier, before their marriage, he told that we should not go move away with the past, all the past thoughts. We should be in the present. We should look out for our future, and we should be in the present moment. So just leave away your past things, past memories. Don't try to again and again, just don't run behind your past life, past memories. Just leave it as this. Whatever you remember, whatever you recollect, just be happy with that, be contented with that. So be in the present. So that due to those words, she did not tell that. Now after the children have grown up, and they have spent many years together in the married life. Now she's saying that one thing I wanted to tell you is that Mata and Sita Ma are the one who have brought us together in this lifetime. So this, though they have passed away, they are no more in this earth. They have somehow arranged it. So she's saying that once they have left their physical body, they have become more effective and more active. So they could implement everything, whatever they wish to reality. So then after some years, Ajit passes away. Then Anusuya, she once more in her very aged time, she goes to that Sarayu River, and that place is very well developed. The economy has grown more, and the market is crowded with boatsmen, salesmen, shoppers, everywhere. People are going here and there. She just sits by under a tree, take rest, and a sort of scene appears before her eyes. And in the scene is she's seeing able to see a woman being drowned in the river, Sarayu River, and a person, a man is coming. Is a divinely person, some sacred person is coming and saving, pulling her out to the bank of the river. And all the women also, many women, they just go behind him. She is able to recognize that it is none other than herself. She is getting known. Actually, she's sitting here, but it is a scene, sort of scene in front of her, is that she is that person. Then afterwards, that actually is her last time. So she sees that another lady, she's also dressed in her royal abode and adobe, and she's coming royal dress, and she's coming here. That is Rajkumari Sitama, and she is taking all those poison and other people. So this is beyond life. So after life, like near death, the soul is leaving the body, and Sitama and the other holy person is coming. He has come to take them. They go in the chariot, and she is taking her last breath at Anusuya. She is able to correlate this waves, the sound of the waves of the river, and her breath slowly. She is able to synchronize both, and she leaves her body. She passes away. So this from the story, they're saying that love energy. This love energy we have to spread. Now, before leaving her body, she's asking Sitama, you told me that I have to form the new. I have a great part in forming the new society, but I've not done anything. I've just brought up my children with love, and I've shown love, and hey, I helped all those needy person. Then what actually was my contribution? So she says that that is what is your contribution, showing love to everywhere, to everybody, to every place, to everyone. That is what is the moral. I mean, to spread the love energy. That is the purpose of why Sitama and Sri Ram have incarnated here, to spread the love energy. Thank you, masters. This is the last chapter. With this, I conclude